I like to give all glory, praise, and honor unto the Most High. And we're going to get into it, man. And this topic is going to be about, speaking about, you had certain niggas, that was always in league with the Europeans. And I was listening to this woman named Chief Warhorse, and I posted it on my channel like years back, but it just came back to me, because due to the targeting and everything, I'm seeing the things that the Most High is showing me, slowly but surely I'm seeing them, man. But I was listening to her, and it's an old clip, and it was from the channel on Dan Calloway, but it's Chief Warhorse talking. It's pretty much her material, and she was talking about, there was a certain group of people, and she used the term more, and more just means black, but the way she was using the term is to show distinction of a people, that call themselves that, that came from Europe, and these people, when they came across with the Europeans, they call them Moors, and basically what she was saying, and we're gonna play the clip. It's a 3-minute clip, and these people that came across, with the Europeans, they came across here to rape and pillage and plunder, the Native American Indians that was over here already. You know what I mean? And that got me to thinking, man. Because anytime you start talking about, look, man, we need to stick together. The black race need to stick together. You're gonna have a group of niggas looking at you like this. They're gonna be looking at you like this. They hate that, man. They hate when you talk like that. Why? Because they always been in league with the Europeans from the jump. So you talking about, the Negro race sticking together and coming up, is dismantling everything that they were in league with them with. And when I say in league, I'm talking about those that were in league to do wickedness. Those that joined hand in hand, with the Europeans to do wickedness. And we're gonna get into this, man. This clip, I'm gonna come back, because due to my targeting now, and I can see that everything that she's saying in this clip was the truth. Of events that happened back then. And in this modern day time, I can see what she's talking about is the truth, man. And I'm just sitting back and I'm watching, and sometimes you gotta look at yourself like, man, like I be sitting down and thinking to myself, like, yo, who are these niggas, man? Like, what? But now, everything is getting revealed to me just slowly, man. And it took some time, and like I said, that devil always gonna reveal itself, man. So we're gonna get into this clip and come back.
A lot of this stuff that was hidden is coming out, and it's time we go back and start digging. I hear people call themselves Moors. Well, in my research, because I never knew what a Moor was in my life, never heard it in my village, and as I began to speak and do talk shows and stuff, I heard people coming at me with, well, are you a Moor? Are you a Moor? I'm not a Moor. Moor just means black. I am not the Moor that people talk about that comes from the European country and came here like the Portugal people came here to destroy the black Indians that was already here, or should I say the black indigenous. And that's a highly controversial thing that I'm talking about, but people who classify themselves as Moors need to realize why did the Spanish bring the Moorish people or the black people or the Portugal people to this area. And as you go back to look, it's self-explanatory within their records. They brought them here with them. They were black Europeans seeking the same thing that the white Europeans were seeking, and that was a new land, a new place, and new riches to embark upon. And I couldn't understand how did even Christopher Columbus be declared a discoverer of America when we were here. So my grand view as a Christian underneath the Catholic Empire, underneath the Pope, the kings, and the queens. So under those type discoveries, we have to start understanding and teaching what they meant by discovery. And some of the people who came in on these discoveries were black, or what we say Moor, because the Spanish called them Moor, which meant black, were some of the black people of the European country who came here with the white European, and they are part of the people who are saying they're the founders of America. Well, those people came in, a lot of them, under acts and treaties that they already had acquired with Spain under the king, and treaties that are acquired under the Pope. So those treaties gave them the right to come and take whatever they wanted to. So you find people now, everybody's wanting to move a large amount into the word more movement, but they also have to look at that they also came to this land to take from it also. And I've had people say, well, wasn't this black people here already? Wasn't they Moors already? No, they were not. My grandfather said we were Shatar. And when I go back in earlier history of the expeditions that came here, no one classified the indigenous people here as a Moor. They would also describe them as Negroid looking, but they never described them as a Moor. The Moors come in under a Sundry Act, and the Sundry Act was an act that brought black people in that looked like the black people here, and the Sundry Act put in some specific guidelines so that the black people from there, if they came in and did anything for as killing or capturing or taking of possessions, that they would be protected by the Spanish law of the Act of the Sundry Act that protected them from being persecuted underneath the law of what they was using on the indigenous people in America. Now, brother, can you hear me on?
So you see what she said, man, and you know it's true, because the Europeans didn't conquer, this Negro, the Negroes, the Indians, just by simply, but they didn't do it by themselves, man. They had help. They had help. They had sellouts, that helped them. And then like she was saying, also, you had people that came over with them that was Negroid looking, that helped them. Their objective was they were allowed to pillage and plunder, the natives here, because they was looking for the same thing the Europeans was looking for, new land, and she classified them. She used that distinction more, that's so yeah, man, and that was their reward. The reward was to, hey, you could go in on these guys, man, and of course, also you also had tribal conflict within the tribes, within ourselves, that's been an ongoing thing, But and when the Europeans, when they see tribal conflict, or if they know that there's somebody that don't like you, they'll capitalize on that, and that's something that they that they even do this stuff with the with the whole gangstalking. They find people that don't like you, or if not, they try to get people to start stuff with you to form a storyline, man. So this is their claim to fame, man. The biggest tactic is using people of our own hue, our own skin complexion, to infiltrate and cause destruction amongst our groups. And you see it. For a perfect example, you've seen that with the Black Panther story with William O'Neill. You see how this guy, was a criminal. He didn't want to own up to what he did, and they used somebody like him. A degenerate like him, to destroy his own. And that's their biggest ticket, man. Because they can't do it by themselves. So we're gonna get into another clip, and it's from the channel called Deprogrammed Enlighter, and this brother is also, saying something similar about the Moors, about how they were in league with the Europeans, and he goes over the history of the bloody fez, and we're gonna take a look at that. His channel is called Deprogrammed Enlighter, and this is an old video.
That Moorish thing, this whole Moorish thing, and in this video, I'm gonna break down the whole meaning of this fez that you're wearing and where you wear it and why it's red. And so and by the way, Shriners, they wear the fez as well, and I'm gonna break down why. But during one of the massacres in North Africa, a city known as Fez, this is in Morocco, by the way, the Moors and Arabs dipped their hats in blood because of the blood that they spill of the Hebrew Israelites and people that was actually calling themselves Christians as well, and a few Africans. And this is actually commemorated today by these Shriners. Shriners is a higher echelon of these so-called Muslims. Like, once they get their 33 degrees and so on and so forth, they cross what is known as the burning sands, and then they put on the fez and they start reading from the Quran, and they swear on the Quran. So it's commemorated by these Shriners who actually wear the blood red fez in memory of that massacre in this town that was actually known as Fez. See, the Shriners are a branch of Masonry in the United States, or the United Snakes. And they swear an oath on the Quran, and they wear the bloody fezzes. Now, Tazadat, where's the fez red? Well, Masonic groups like the Knights of Columbus, the Knights Templar, they occupy very important positions in every branch of government. Understand that. So the blood red fez is actually worn by Shriners in the United States. Now, a lot of Moors wear these fezzes too. Now, the lower people don't even understand why they do it, because they're novice. They actually believe what they are being told. They don't do the research. They don't go out and research, why am I wearing this? What's the meaning of this fez? Is it symbolic to something? Now, you can't play semantics with me. Now, if you consider yourself a Moors, now this is a question that I have for you sheiks in these mosques. If you consider yourself a Moor, question, did not the Moors form a pact with Queen Elizabeth? Did not the Moors, go to Queen Elizabeth? Did not the Sultan Moor write to Queen Elizabeth for assistance in invading West Africa? And she supplied them with troops and guns to invade West Africa, to enslave and murder Hebrew Israelites and African people. It's a question.
All right, so you can see right here what he's saying is true. There was a massacre of Jews in Fez, 6,000, over 6,000, I should say, and, yeah, you see, these guys, they got helped, from the Queen of England. They were in league with them. They signed deals with them, and they were given ammunition. They were given power, to subjugate, other melanated people that look like them, So this is a screenshot from Beyonce's video Formation, and like I said, stop listening to what these guys are saying. Pay attention to what they're showing you, and you can see in her video, she has, a guy in there wearing the bloody fez. Now you heard what this guy just told you, you know what I mean? You heard what he said, these guys were about, Now you see the Masonic hand signs, this is what they're showing you, why is this in her video? Why is something like this in her video? She's a high-ranking witch, man. These guys are Satanists, and her husband is a Satanist too, They always been in league with the Europeans, man. You know what I mean? Leading you astray, leading Israel astray. You know what I mean? They persecuted a lot of Hebrews. Let's keep going. And that's all these guys been doing. You know what I mean? That's all these niggas been doing in the entertainment industry is feeding you a bunch of garbage. A bunch of death music. That's been killing our people, man. Do what thou wilt. Jay-Z's wearing this. That's a phrase from the Satanist Aleister Crowley. There you go, right there. This guy and his wife, they're high-ranking Satanists. But the thing about us, we tend to just look at the success, we look at the money, but we're not paying attention to the things that they're saying. You know what I mean? And then and to top it off, like, look, man, like I'm telling you, when I say, look, they screen these guys, they know what these guys are about, man. You know what I mean? This guy was selling crack to his own people. You know, up until the age of his first album dropped at 26, he was selling crack to his own people. Do you really think this nigga gives a crap about you? Now, you know, they look at that. They look at those guys, you mean? And they look at their moral compass like, yo, we could use this guy. I mean, he's been on the street for, you know, this many amount of years selling crack to his own people. He don't give a damn about y'all, man. You know what I mean? He don't. You know, that's why they put him on the pedestal. I mean, oh yeah, they play that card like they do care. I mean, but anybody that would consciously do something like that, seeing the effects that it has, you know, is a jacked up individual. I mean, knowing that, and if you know that you won't take it yourself, but you're giving it to other people, you know, that's somebody that their moral compass is skewed, man. You know, so they look at these guys, they screen these guys, they know they could use these guys based off, they see what they did to the streets. Yeah, oh yeah, he was a big drug dealer. Yeah, we could use these guys, man. He's gonna be good, you know, for the destruction of more of these niggas. You know what I mean? You know, and he's spiritually dead. So in this next clip, we're gonna be taking a look at Jay-Z. He's in the studio. This is about the time he was making the Black album, and they was doing a documentary on the process, and you know he was making a song called Lucifer. So pay attention to what he said, you know, while he was making this this album. You know,
That's my word. I never read the Bible in my life. I don't even know. That's my word. I never read the Bible in my life. I don't even know.
Now that track Lucifer that he made, you know, it had a lot of biblical, you know, references, biblical, undertones in it. But you heard what he said, man. He said, that's my word. I never read the Bible a day in my life. You know what I mean? You know, and do you think this is somebody that you should be listening to when it comes to, you know, spiritual things? I mean, he's leading you astray. Do what thou wilt, man. I mean, do what thou wilt. You mean? Introducing you to Satanism, man. Let's keep going.
Hail Mary to the city, you're a virgin, and Jesus can't save you. Life starts when the church in.
So you see, I mean, I just had to bring the lyrics up. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys heard this before. He said, I mean, Hail Mary to the city, you're a virgin, and Jesus can't save you. Life starts when the church in, man. I mean, but yet still, this guy never read the Bible a day in his life. You know. He's pushing Satanism to you. I mean, these are people that's always been in league, you know, with the Europeans that know who you are. You know, they got their chance to blow up. They looked at their street record and said, look, man, we could use this degenerate, I mean, to destroy more God's people, to destroy more Yah's people, because that's the oath that they take, man, when they get in here. I mean, destroy Yah's people, man. This fool don't know what the hell he's talking about.
America's disrespect for me. You killed Christ, you created religion unexpectedly. Circular.
As you can see in that last clip, you know, he also likes to look at himself like he's some type of Messiah, or he's some type of God, you know. So you have the reference, you know, some people, and you know, they say God's name is Jehovah. So this is what he do. He took that and he made a play on it with words like Jehovah, but it's actually a play on the the words Jehovah that you know some people used to call the Most High by his name. So you know, this is a blasphemous nigga, man. You know. This is the this is the Antichrist right here. This is one of, there's many Antichrists out there. It's going to be many, and this is one of them, man. It's leading y'all's people astray. This is who they use. They always been in league with them, man. You know what I mean? And we all we do is we look at the fame, we look at the riches. But these niggas is spiritually dead. You know, and another thing he's doing in there in that last clip, you know, the things that he's saying is like he said, listen to what he's saying. He's leading people away from Christ. You know what I mean? People that's maybe on the fence. You know, they looking at him like, oh man, this guy's successful. They look at this. I mean, he made it. He's saying that. I mean, Christ is not this and Christ is not that, and don't worry about him. You know what I mean? People's listening to this guy, man. and he's leading our people astray, man. I mean, this is what they do. I mean, they already got their reward here, man. You know, their reward was to come in, infiltrate. You know what I mean? The Europeans helped them out. They gave them power to dismantle, you know, the Most High's people, man, and continue to lead them astray. All these niggas going into the industry selling their soul. Yeah. So this last and final clip, we're gonna be getting into Pastor Omar, and basically, you know, in this clip, you know, he's gonna be showing you, you know, how the Europeans capitalize on tribal conflict. You know, that's something to do. They're opportunists. You know what I mean? Whatever they want, they look. I mean, if they can't find an enemy, they'll start conflict. You know what I mean? You know, and if you do have an enemy, hey, they're gonna use that person, you know, to eventually take you over. And you know, and it's funny too sometimes, because in the end they eventually end up turning on the people that they do supply. I mean, and you'll see the state of Africa today. You know, are these guys that, you know, sold out, you know, the Israelites. You know, and that's a judgment from the Most High too. You know, so you know. You see the same thing happening today. You know, they supply these niggas with equipment, you know, to torture you, you know, to do this, to do that. You know what I mean? I mean, they have the law enforcement on their side. You know, they could go out, they could kill whoever. You know, like I said, when you start talking about the Negroes need to stick together, you know, black people need to stick together, this, that, and the third, you're going to have a bunch of niggas out here that's going to be mad at you. You know what I mean? Why? They don't want you talking about that. Why? Because they always been in league with the Europeans from the jump. You know, and they hate that kind of talk. Why? Because it's going to, you talking about undoing everything that they fought for. Why? Because they get some breadcrumbs, I mean, off that table. They always been in league with them, man. You know, and this is who they use. I mean, that's their trump card that they use. People of our own hue, I mean, to infiltrate, man. I mean, that's their biggest tactic, man. You know. Oh man. And you know, and you know what? I can understand if I could see some tangible stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like if I look around, I see like, yo, man, the neighborhoods is looking good. Look, I mean, like, you know, these guys, and you know, these guys want you to join them, you know, and to do wickedness. But I can understand, like, look, if I'm seeing some tangible stuff, like the neighborhood's looking good. Look at this, man. We getting this, we getting that in the neighborhood. No, man. I mean, you know what? To anybody that's following me, you mean, to where I live, like, go outside and just walk around the neighborhood, man. You mean? Walk around, take your time. Look at all the trash that's on the floor, man. Look at all the graffiti. The neighborhood watch program is supposed to be used to pick all that stuff up, man. No, but you know, you got a bunch of cats that's just pocketing the money off putting people on a list of false claims that just pocketing the money. I mean, it's a joke, man. I mean, you only laughing stock at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That's all you are. You're the laughing stock at the end of the day, man. I mean, because I can understand if I could see some tangible stuff out here. Oh, man. And then these are the same niggas that want to move out the hood. Talk about, yeah, I made it out. When you was here, you was that cancer, man. I mean, causing havoc. I mean? Oh, man. You know? And look at all the other neighborhoods, man. Look at Chicago, look at Florida, Detroit. I mean, why is all our neighborhoods run down like that, man? Why is it there's not a neighborhood you could go to and be like, look, you know, this joint is legit over here, man. I mean, because you had people that were always in league with the Europeans, and their goal was to destroy Yah's people, man. We're gonna get into this clip, man.
In Negro land and the Bantu kingdoms were expanding. But when the Europeans came, they saw that they could make money off of our wars between each other. And the Europeans said, listen, we're going to tilt the balance. Y'all don't like these people, amen, but we need some labor in America. We need some labor in the Caribbean. We need some labor in Haiti. We need some labor in South America. We need some labor. If y'all will fight these Hebrews, Negroes, strangers, if y'all will fight them and sell the captives to us, we will give you the equipment to win the battle. We have something that we call a fire stick. And when you put a projectile in it and pull the trigger, it goes further than any spear that they can throw. And you will win the war. Now listen, there was a picture up there of a tribe with long sticks, look like. And I told you that those were the haters. That was the kingdom of Dahomey. Who homie? No, Dahomey. The Dahomey kingdom. See, after you read the map in 1740, the kingdom of Judah, when you go later than that, 1780s, the kingdom of Dahomey is right over it. And the French map people say the Dahomey kingdom conquered the kingdom of Judah. And the way they conquered the kingdom of Judah and the way they conquered the Hebrew Negro people was with guns. Oh, you politicians and you little Democrats running after Hillary and running after these doggone actors. Want you to sell all your guns, trade all your guns in, so they can do you like they did you in Africa. Oh yeah, they put the best of us in front of us. They contact pastors. Stop the violence. Get them to trade their guns in. No guns. Stop the violence. Guns ain't killing people. People killing people. And you got to understand the agenda, friends. When we didn't have guns in Africa, and they did, you know what they did to us? I got a picture of a boat. They started what's called the transatlantic slave trade. You see, when we think of the transatlantic slave trade, we think that Africans were selling one another. Africans wasn't selling one another. They were selling the Hebrews. That's why to this.
So, I mean, I don't want to drag this on too long, man. I mean, you see how they operate. You see that they always been in league with them. You know, but I mean, turn back to the Most High, and Lord willing, that pendulum, I mean, is gonna change. It's already changing. The shift is already happening, man. And you know, that shift is gonna happen. You know, and that's a day they're gonna dread, man. That's a day they're gonna dread. It's gonna be a horrible day. You know. For those that you know, that was doing all this dirty crap behind the scenes for vain rewards, that's not gonna mean nothing in the end. You know, that's why you stay faithful to the Most High. You know, so you can stay under His protection. You know, so hopefully this was edifying, man. I mean, stay up.